The following is a presentation of The Day.
Hey, I'm Rick Coster from The Day, and I'm pretty excited because this is the latest episode of Live Lunch Break at the Telegraph Record Store in New London. We've done almost 150 of these things, and the whole idea as we started out is we'll just get a bunch of local folks from the admittedly fertile for our per capita town music scene. But we've never had someone like Regina Carter before, and this is a tremendous honor. So thank you, Regina.
Thank you.
She is on tour behind her brand new wonderful Mark It Down Now at the end of March. It will be at the end of Best of list for 2015. It's Southern Comfort. It's a wonderful exploration of ancestral and roots music that pretty much throughout the South. Is that fair to say? All right. So not only is Regina here, and you know her, she's a world-class, classically trained jazz violinist, but can play anything as she's about to demonstrate. We're also privileged that Marvin Sewell is here on guitar. He has worked with everyone from Ramsey Lewis to Cassandra Wilson, for whom he was, Ramsey Lewis is right?
Oh, kind of, yeah.
That's a cool thing, because you're from Chicago, right?
Right.
So, Cubs or White Sox?
White Sox.
All right. Because he's from the west side, so I don't know if you divide it up between the south and the north side. I didn't know. White Sox, huh? All right. And then back here on the bass guitar is Jesse Murphy. Jesse has done the latest John Scofield album, I believe, and is also in the Brazilian Girls. And he also has the biggest road case that we have ever had in here to get this double bass in. So without any further ado, I believe they're going to do a lot of stuff from Southern Comfort, but you never know. This is the wonderful Regina Carter and two of the best sidemen in the world, even though I shouldn't say sidemen because they're capable of being lead on their own too. So there. Regina? Well, it's like you guys draw crowds and stuff. Thank you guys so much for being here. This is Live Lunch Break. My name is Rick Coster from The Day, and we're here in the Telegraph Record Shop in New London. This is Regina Carter. I guess you guys already know that, huh? So welcome again, Regina.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Oh, our pleasure. This is Marvin over here on guitar, and then Jesse back here on the bass. You guys are sort of on the road behind the new album Southern Comfort, correct?
Correct, yes.
So I should say before we talk that you're kind of on loan to us from Connecticut College. Rob Richter was nice enough to hook us up, and thank you guys for, you'll be there tomorrow night at Palmer Auditorium, Friday night, Con College. And you're sort of also here on the wings of the National Endowment of the Arts and New England Endowment of Arts. So thanks to all those folks. What I think is fascinating about Southern Comfort and sort of the development you've been going on, going in a direction for a while now. Did you start thinking about this album looking on Ancestor.com?
Yes, well, it started a couple of records ago with I'll Be Seeing Your Sentimental Journey, which was all music. It was a healing record for me after I lost my mother. And I did all music that she listened to growing up in Detroit when she was born in 1926, so music 20s, 30s. And the next record was when I joined Ancestry.com. So I knew all about my mother's side of the family. I didn't know that much about the rest of my background. So I did the DNA test, and it came back 73% West African, 13% Finnish, and the rest some kind of just wherever, sprinkles here and there. So I decided to kind of delve into the African roots, and Reverse Thread was
Right.
Music, mostly West African music, but a lot of, well, I found a couple of gems from Uganda, from the Ugandan Jews that I recorded as well. And so I kept up with the Ancestry.com meeting. You know, my tree would be connected to other trees. I either connect with relatives I hadn't been in touch with for a long time, or meet new relatives through the connection of our trees. And so I was finding out more information about my father's side of the family, knowing that my grandfather was born in 1893. He was a coal miner in Bradford, Alabama, and he and my grandmother had 14 children, which my father was the oldest. He was a twin. So just going back, I was curious, what was the music like when he was coming up? And so the music on Southern Comfort is some of the music that would have been relevant during his lifetime, but also some more modern tunes that I happen to love. There's a Hank Williams tune in there as well. So
Graham Parsons.
Yep, and not all of it from Alabama, but a lot of
Right.
it from that area.
Well, as I listened to the record, there's so many styles on the Gulf Coast and into Texas. And you guys have to get this record. It is so evocatively great. But the diversity of styles is one thing, and you got a lot of this material from like the Lomax archives and stuff, right? So talk a little bit about that process, because you're dealing with basically single melody lines and no big arrangements, right?
Right. A lot of this is from, like you said, the Lomax collection, the John Works III collection, the Alabama Folk Life Association. So Lomax would go around with just his handheld, and you get all kinds of history and stories about these tunes or what was going on at certain times. And the one person her voice I was really drawn to a lot was Vera Ward, and Vera Ward Hall. Something about the quality of her voice, but it'd just be a single voice singing songs. One of the tunes we recorded was Cornbread Crumbled in Gravy. And you just have this, and the thing about this music out of the Appalachia area is that you had a mixture of the Scots, the Irish, Native Americans, the African Americans, all these people. So all of their traditions, their sounds, these tunes came together and created this sound that we call Americana now. And so we can play some of these tunes here. We can go to somewhere in Europe or anywhere, and people say, I recognize that melody. Maybe the words are a little bit different, or it's a little. So there are a lot of versions, but it would just be these single lines, and that one was go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, little baby. When you wake up, I bake you a little cake, cornbread crumbled in gravy, and that's all we had. And so from there, on one hand, you say, okay, I can do so much with this, but you don't want to overdo it, if you will. You don't want to over decorate it, because I wanted the beauty of the single lines and the melodies to come through. So it was just a lot of fun. It was a challenge. I spent probably almost close to 2 years doing the research and coming up with this batch of music. And the musicians spent about 2 or 3 weeks rehearsing 5 days a week at my house or in the city, just so we could kind of let the seasoning soak in before we went into the studio.
We are speaking, of course, with Regina Carter, and one thing that struck me when I started delving into how you did the project was, first of all, how did you had to have, like, there could be 200 songs that would easily resonate, but not only did she whittle it down, but Regina also had this incredible idea to reach out to various musicians on the project and asking if they would like to arrange 1 or 2 songs each, which I've never heard. And in one way, it's a very liberating idea because all the burden wasn't on you, but you're trusting these guys, and it worked out really well. How did you come up with that concept?
Well, I worked with most of the musicians, in fact, all of them that contributed to this project. And so when I would listen to tunes, I could just hear someone's personality, or so I thought. But I would send them maybe 3 or 4 tunes and say, okay, do any of these speak to you? Because if they didn't speak to them, then I needed to send them something else, because they needed to have a relationship with the tune as well. So when I heard a couple tunes, but the one Marvin Sewell did, the first tune we played was Miner's Child. When I heard that, I was like, this is Marvin. This is so Marvin. And Marvin's people are from Alabama too, so it was just perfect. I heard Marvin play years ago. We were on a gig together with Cassandra Wilson, and I remember when I heard him play, I said, one day we're gonna play together. I'm gonna have him. And so it took this many years later, but that tune, it just had his name on it, and so I thought he did a beautiful job. It was a perfect fit. So
Marvin, what did you think when she said, do you want to arrange this song? Did you have a couple of songs you could choose from, or did just that one tune kind of leap at you?
Yeah, she gave me a choice of about 2 or 3 pieces, and I did a sort of a jazz arrangement of Miner's Child, kind of very slow and a lot of polychords and stuff. I mean, it was nice, but it was a totally different mood. So I sent her, I believe I sent Regina both files. She said, let's go with the more simpler one, which I agree with. It's because I sat at the piano and I started saying, oh, let me do this chord, let me do that chord. And, I mean, the other arrangement was nice, but this one was a bit more, the arrangement is kind of gets everybody involved in the arrangement, where they can play, option to play different parts and play their own parts and stuff. So hopefully that with that type of arrangement, it will be different every night we play it. So
it's a beautiful arrangement, absolutely. And now I want you guys to be able, you're doing us a favor by being here, because the concert is tomorrow night, and I don't want to take up too much of your time, and I know y'all are on lunch, but
what'd you bring?
Yeah, what'd you bring? Where is it? But I have to ask this question, and there's an article in the Day today, because Regina was kind enough to grant me a phone interview last week, and I asked my usual assemblage of moronic questions, but there's one thing that just fascinated me, and you may or may not know this, but some years back, she traveled to Italy and was given permission to actually play Paganini's, I guess you would call it his A-list acts, the canon, which I don't even know that they let anybody touch that thing. So Regina, being really cool, got to play Paganini's violin and then record on it. And all I could think of was, even though she's clearly a virtuoso, were you just like, I'm gonna cuss, were you nervous as hell holding that thing? Tell her, what's that like?
Well, usually there's a competition, I think yearly, the Paganini competition, and you play one of his pieces, and whoever wins that, they have an opportunity to play his violin in a concert or record with it. So I didn't even enter the competition. A friend of mine that lives in the community of Genoa came up with this idea that we should play a jazz concert using the violin. And there was just all this hoopla over, oh my gosh, what's she going to do to the violin? It's going to damage it, blah, blah, blah. And finally, after months of going back and forth, and they finally okayed me to play this uh, the concert, and then people saw that I wasn't going to light the violin on fire, and they really
He might have.
well, yes, Paganini would have,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's why I was like, well, you're worried about me, but but the concert was a success, and they let me then record with it, but. The violin itself, because it was over 250 years old, and they don't even tell you what the insurance is on it. And they brought it in with the police sirens and everything. And when I was in the room practicing with it, I was in with the violin keeper and 2 armed guards right outside the door. So it was not the most calming thing to be able to play this violin. I felt like if I played a wrong note or out of tune, they were going to shoot me. So I kept having these nightmares. We talked about that when I would walk on stage, that I would fall in a hole with the violin and drop it. So I decided at the time of the concert, I said to them, I played my violin the first half, and then the second half was with the canon. And I said, please, you all, I'm going to stand there, you bring it to me. So it's like, if you walk and fall with it, that's on you. But I remember, just all of this leading up to it, and it was such a huge deal for me. That when they handed me the violin, I just burst into tears right there on stage. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe. But it was a really huge deal to play that and to be able to record with it, and I'm blessed that I had that opportunity.
And we are blessed that we have the opportunity to listen to Regina Carter with Marvin Sewell, and then back here, Jesse Murphy. Would you do us the honor of playing a couple more songs?
Sure.
All right. Y'all, Regina Carter.
This is Cornbread Crumbled in Gravy.
Now, they're asking politely out there, would you guys do one more? What do you think? One more? Regina Carter.
We have to detune for this one.
Marvin Sewell on the guitar, Jesse Murphy back here on the upright bass. It's Regina Carter. The album is called Southern Comfort. Tomorrow night, that's Friday, they will be at Palmer Auditorium in Conn College's. Well, it's a really pretty campus, so drop by and see them. Full band.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much for being here. It's been very much of a pleasure. Thanks for being at Live Lunch Break. I'm Rick Coster. Thanks to the Telegraph Record Shop, and we will see you guys next week.
Thank you.